on Fantasy Football Pre.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of your hosts today, JeffsBalding.
Oh, God. And I'm SpalDingo. So the Booze Brothers themselves are back in action. Going to go over some fantasy football, do a week one preview just to see what... just to let you guys know what we expect from this season and get some shit talk out of the way. So I guess if we're starting off, we have Jeff, if you want to take the very first matchup we got here.
All right. First matchup today, we got King Savage Bro versus, or AKA Team Savage, Savage Bro versus the Fabulous Flyers, Fabulous Lomax. And what we're looking at as far as the matchups go, we got on the Flyers, we got Tannehill, we got Dalvin Cook at running back, DeAndre Swift, Calvin Ridley, Justin Jefferson as the number 1-2 wideouts, Noah Fant, Chris Godwin in the flex, Pittsburgh Steelers and Graham Gano versus the Russell Wilson, Najee Harris, Leonard Fournette, Robert Woods, DJ Moore, Kyle Pitts, Antonio Brown, Bills D, and Harrison Butker. Well, I'm going to make a bold prediction. I'm making a bold prediction on this one, which bear in mind, everybody, that all of the things that we're talking about, the matchups, were all predetermined before the Thursday game. Okay, so I got to get that out of the way. So my bold matchup, or my bold prediction, probably my boldest prediction, is that Fabulous Lomax will win on every single position over King Savage Bro. So, Ryan Tannehill outperforming Russell Wilson, Dalvin Cook over Najee Harris. I think my biggest stretch on that one is going to be the Noah Fant beating out Kyle Pitts, but we're going to see. I don't know. I think the Pitts might be a little rusty this week. What do you think, Dingo?
Your bold prediction, I don't think is going to come true. I think I think Fabulous is going to do very, very well. I think Harrison Butker, though, with that Kansas City offense, especially against a good Cleveland defense, I think Harrison Butker is going to have himself a game versus a Graham Gano, who knows if that team will get into scoring position. A bad Giants team. The rest of the players, though, Kyle Pitts is a complete unknown. I mean, it is his rookie season, but how good is Atlanta going to be? So that's yet to see. But your bold prediction's close, but not 100%. So who's your pick then in the end to win this matchup?
My pick, Fabulous Flyers.
I'm going to second that. We're going to go Fabulous Flyers for the week one victory over Savage Bruh.
Oh.
So our second matchup of the week is between You Can't Borrow My Cup and I Love Jeff Big PP. So if it was just names alone, I think PP would win this matchup. We've got an interesting matchup though, because for Stewie's team, which is You Can't Borrow My Cup, in the quarterback slot, he's got Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers going up and playing a New Orleans team should be a shootout of a game. Also, he has Alvin Kamara from New Orleans as one of his running backs and Antonio Gibson out of Washington as his other. His wide receiver core is composed of Cooper Kupp, that's in the name, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Brandon Cooks. And then he also has for tight end Mark Andrews of Baltimore, who had a phenomenal couple past seasons. Buccaneers defense. And then Jason Sanders, kicker out of Miami. And they're going against PP's team, Justin Herbert, who had a phenomenal rookie season. Running back Derrick Henry for Tennessee and Kareem Hunt for Cleveland. And then the wide receiver core, we have Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and DeAndre Hopkins, a bunch of studs. Tight end Mike Gesicki, Washington's defense. And then we actually have a questionable kicker, McLaughlin, out of Cleveland. So very, very interesting matchups, pretty solid players there. The quarterback position is what I am going to be looking at. The funny thing is, all of these are very even. No bold prediction here that there's going to be one lopsided over the other. It's going to be very, very even down the board. The quarterbacks even out. Running backs are pretty close. I think the edge for running back is going to go in PP's direction. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to ball out this very first game. He's got something to prove in Green Bay. He's got a lot to prove since they don't really want him there anymore. So he's going to go and try to force his hands at a really, really big contract year. Do you have anything to say about this matchup, Jeff?
Before the Thursday game, we always have to, always have to caveat that I honestly think that the Jeff Big PP, great name. I thought that he had one of the biggest steals of the draft. CeeDee Lamb at the early fourth, I think, is would have been a big factor, this week. He has been a big factor. Most certainly, that wide receiver core is dangerous. My biggest worry is the Krispy Kreme hunt right there. That Krispy Kreme. But you know what? Last year, Krispy Kreme performed better when the starting running back for the Cleveland Browns. The Chubb Club. When he was in town, Kareem Hunt actually performed better when Chubb Club was there. So I do think that the running back goes heavily in favor for Cup, but Krispy Kreme, he can hold his own. Derrick Henry, that's the first pick of the draft. I mean, that's solid. It's still solid. So I mean, I was definitely thinking that the big PP. I think he was going to pull this one off.
Now, saying that he had one of the bigger steals of the draft is interesting because I think he also made one of the bigger blunders in the draft. Not going to be a huge one, but when he had the number one overall pick and took a Derrick Henry over some other choices, such as Christian McCaffrey, which in a PPR league like this could be a very, very interesting move. So in the end, though, this is before, obviously, the Thursday night game happened and affects the scores here, which doesn't look good. But I had originally picked Stewie, so you can't borrow my cup to win this matchup before the Thursday night game happens. So that probably won't happen now, but I'm going to stick with it because that was my original pick.
Yep, and I thought Jeff's Big Peepee was going to rise. Okay, that was bad. That was bad. Okay. Okay. Next one. Yeah, we're going to the next one. This one.
We're going to Gold Rush versus Grims.
Gold Rush versus Grims. I like this one as a match of the week personally because I mean, here's two titans of NCAA streamers going in a head-to-head week one. In a head-to-head week one, I actually have to look here. Oh yes. So California Gold Rush. Very solid teams for both of these teams. I mean, this is a very good week too. If I wasn't mistaken, weren't they both at 50%, on the ESPN to win before the Thursday game happened?
Yeah.
So like that's pretty dope right there. We got Kyler Murray going up against Dak Prescott. Kyler Murray, I'm going to read off Gold Rushes first. So Kyler Murray versus Cleveland Grims. Dak Prescott. We got Jonathan Taylor versus Saquon Barkley. Two of them that have a lot to prove this season. So, I mean, that right there is a wonderful matchup. James Robinson, Joe Mixon. Also going to be a super close one in terms of just raw talent of the position. Ayuk, I think, was one of the better steals of the draft, too. I'll just mention that. I think Ayuk is a fabulous player. Keenan Allen is an established old guy, but he's established. I mean, he's been year in, year out. He's always on the top of the list. So, I mean, what a great matchup there. Chase Claypool versus Tyler Lockett. We got 49er George Kittle is what I want to call 49er George here with the California Gold Rush. I totally see. That is the 49er George, right? George Kittle. So great one right there. Zach Ertz has a lot to prove here. In that matchup, we have Raheem the Dream Mostert in the flex and Julio Jones over for the Grims. And I don't really care too much about defensive kicker. But yes, for me, I'm kind of thinking that California Gold Rush has a major edge actually in this matchup because of the week one matchups. When you're looking at the Brandon Ayuk going against Detroit Lions, which we both are fans of the Detroit Lions. So we both know who the Detroit Lions are. And they're a team that is going to get shredded in the passing game and in the running game. And Kittle's got both. I said Kittle's got both. 49er Georgia's got both in the California Gold Rush. I think the matchups are just so awesome all across the board. Shootouts in almost every single category. Mm-hmm. I'm saying 49er George because of this week 1. Now, if they went against each other in week 2, could be a 100% different story. But I think it's the matchups this week that's going to give Gold Rush give the rush that he needs to get across that goal line.
So California Gold Rush very, very much took their love of the 49ers to heart when drafting this year. So very bold strategy across the board. So when you take the 49ers defense, Raheem Mostert, George Kittle, and Brandon Ayuk, and the only reason, like you said, is their matchup, can Motor City Dan Campbell come through for the Lions and shut down the 49ers in week 1? I don't think so. I don't think it happens. I think that matchup is beautiful for the Gold Rush here. So I'm with you on that. I think California Gold Rush gets the win over Grimm's, even though Grimm's could do some crazy stuff, especially Saquon Barkley. We don't know what he's going to be able to do this year. He could be a monster. So, but yeah, California Gold Rush has my pick for this week's win. So
awesome. I do have to mention that I was talking a lot of shit to 49er George earlier this week, and I'm like, big headline of the week, Lions shock the nation. So like I'm at least talking shit to him, but I'm still a realist at the end of the day. I'm still a realist at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's going to be a long season for Detroit Lions fans. So the next matchup, we have Watch Me Gallop playing against Cozy Nest, one of our A-Squad stream teamers, Tyler. So I'm going to do what you did, Jeff, with these lineups here. So quarterbacks, I'm going to start with Gallup's quarterback or players and then go over to Cozy Nest. So we have quarterback matchup, Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills versus Joe Burrow of Cincinnati. Joe Burrow coming off of an injury last year. And Josh Allen was one of those MVP type players last year. I think Josh Allen has an even better team around him this year and a Buffalo Bills team that I believe could possibly win the Super Bowl this year. That's how good I think that this Buffalo Bills team is. Now, the running backs, we have Miles Sanders and Mike Davis on Gallup's side versus Chris Carson and J.D. McKissick on Tyler's side. And then as far as the wide receivers, this is where it gets fun. So Gallup has Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, and then Michael Gallup versus Tyler's Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf, and T. Higgins. So, and then tight ends, we have TJ Hawkinson versus Jonnu Smith. And then again, we won't go over defenses or anything like that. The wide receivers are going to put up numbers. That is one thing that I really like on Tyler's team or his wide receivers. Devontae Adams should have a stud season. DK Metcalf should continue and have a great season. His running backs are a little more questionable. And his quarterback, I think, is the big thing. Joe Burrow, hell of a quarterback. Will he stay healthy? Does he have the players around him? Is he going to get murdered in the pocket? Like, that is pretty much what's going to determine Tyler's season, because Joe Burrow, I don't think, is going to put up the numbers that he's hoping for. Josh Allen, though, with the team that he has, as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be fine. Gallup, you have some amazing wide receivers with Tyreek Hill and Mike Evans there. I think Gallup is going to take this one.
All right,
Jeff.
Well, I also am thinking that Gallup will be taking this one. However, I am 100% there with you with that receiving core. Looks very, very deadly. But when you have a complete hole, basically, at running back, which, in Tyler's defense, his second round pick was J.K. Dobbins, who is out with a season-ending injury.
That is true, yes, yeah.
In defense of the defense of that, I think that was one of the worst picks of the draft in round 2. So there's I have a lot of opinions on this sort of stuff right now. But yeah, having that big hole at running back really put Tyler in a really bad spot in this matchup. I don't think it's enough juice with DK Metcalf and Devontae Adams pulling this team. But I mean, T. Higgins as well could also blow up. Burrow, Burrow could be a thing. I don't know if it's going to be week 1 thing. I don't know if it's going to be a week 1 thing, and I hope he doesn't get injured week 1 because they didn't upgrade any of that line. That line is the same. So
now I will say for him, his backup quarterback is Kirk Cousins. He's got someone there. We'll see. I don't know how big of an upgrade Kirk Cousins will be, but he gets streaky where he gets really good. So, but this week, if he's not playing him, he's got Joe Burrow in there. It's a done deal. I think that's a wrap for Gallup.
Yeah. Now here's a question for you, Dingo, just off the cuff here. Should have Tyson Williams been started on the Gallup side, being that he is now the number 1 Baltimore running back?
Is he though, or is he? How are they splitting? Because you have Latavius Murray also with Baltimore, and now you have Le'Veon Bell in there. So I think it's going to be mostly a running back by committee thing. If I'm in Gallup's position, I am not starting a Baltimore running back because you do not know who's going to be the person off the gate or out the gate. I think Mike Davis is a solid number 1 for Atlanta, and Miles Sanders, he's your premium pass catching back that's going to be out of Philadelphia. I would start those two, not knowing what you're going to get from Tyson Williams.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like you wouldn't put him in the flex because, I mean, the team name is Watch Me Gallup. That would be sacrilege. So you need Michael Gallup in order to make this team Gallup. So,
Yes.
I have Watch Me Gallup into the finish line this one.
Mm-hmm.
That's my pick.
Same for the week. So. And we're coming into the final 2, and to be honest with you, the most important matchups of this league. So I'll let you take away this one.
Okay.
And, I'll just kick back and watch.
Okay. So we got the golf droid, aka SpalDingo, versus the Scuba Squad. Should be a good matchup, actually. Should be a pretty good matchup. We got Matt Stafford for the golf droid going against Scuba Steve's Patrick Mahomes. Our running back committee is going to be Christian McCaffrey and Clyde Edwards-Helaire going against Aaron Jones and Chase Edmonds. Wide receivers here, A.J. Brown, Adam Thielen against Allen Robinson, Jerry Jeudy. Tight ends, Robert Tonyan, Logan Thomas. That's going to be a fun one to see how those ones pan out, by the way. Like that's who I want to watch this week if in this matchup. And then we have in the flex, Zach Moss or Myles Gaskin for Dingo here versus Zach Mouse of the Scuba Squad. Packers D, Broncos D. Seattle kicker versus Baltimore kicker. I'm not even going to name him. Yeah, I'm not going to name him. But that's what you need to know. Therefore, I am thinking that, Christian McCaffrey has a chance every single week to blow up for 40 points. And this is a pretty damn good week for it to happen going against the New York Jets. So, their offense is looking decent. New York Jets' offense is looking pretty decent. But I don't know about their defense, and it's Christian McCaffrey who just puts up points. Even when the Carolina Panthers have lost in the past with Christian McCaffrey on the field, he minimum gets 20 points, like just off of all of the receiving volume plus all that. Insane value at the number 2 overall pick. I think that's going to be one of the big factors coming in there. Mahomes, in all honesty, has a chance to put up a 40 burger at any weight too. I don't think Matt Stafford has that in him. I know you're probably going to think different, bro, but Mahomes, he has the cheat code of having legs. And Matt Stafford doesn't. Matt Stafford gets folded in half. So, but yeah, I do think that there is a bit of an edge. Like the A.J. Brown, he's going to perform similar to Allen Robinson, but I do think that Adam Thielen has a little bit more of a Jerry Jeudy, or at least Jerry Jeudy has a lot more to prove. Logan Thomas, I think, could be like a breakout performer where if the Scoobs was to win this one, it's because of Logan Thomas. That would be if I was to have a bold prediction on this one. That's it right there. I think the world right now of Logan Thomas. Fun fact, there's only a couple players that had more routes run last year than Logan Thomas. Like total routes just run. So, they use him as a receiver, and you got Fitzmagic, you got Fitz Magic commanding that team this year. So that's going to be a great one to watch. So yeah, this one for me, I'm saying in the end, despite there being a lot of fire on this Scuba squad, I'm going to give it to Golf Droid. I think Dingo got it. So.
Yeah, I will say with Scoobs, his team, he did draft very, very well with his team. There's not really any weaknesses in this squad. It is interesting, though, the two of us for our flex position, where I think this is the only matchup where you have two running backs in the flex positions. Right. Everybody else has been running wide receivers. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, I'm not going to put a prediction in. I'm going to pick myself every single time, so that's not fair to do. But Scoobs, Patrick Mahomes, hell of a pickup. He should be on par for an MVP season. So very, very good team. So.
Which I'll actually mention, I almost put Pat Mahomes as one of the best picks in the draft because of how our league drafted. In the second round, we had at least 4 quarterbacks go off the board, and Pat Mahomes gets. A lot of times when people overvalue Pat Mahomes, they'll take him 2-3 rounds before, the next pick, like Josh Allen or whatnot. But no, Scoobs took him. Then the next 3 people all took quarterbacks. So that makes Pat Mahomes' value that much better because everyone else had high picks on theirs. And Scoobs got the best one of them all. So that's kind of that's why I like Pat Mahomes' pick as early as it was. That's what the number 1 pick for Scoobs. That's what I'm impressed with right there.
Gotcha. Awesome.
But I guess too, I should mention Tom Brady lit it up with 27 points this last week. So I mean, I'd be a little bit worried as Scoobs feel like, damn, should have started him. But like I said, Pat Mahomes can put up a 40 burger at any given week. So
it'll be interesting how they play Patrick Mahomes too. I think you're going to see a little less running out of him just because of the way that Super Bowl played out and how he was essentially running for his life. So I'm banking on them distributing a little bit quicker, moving it around. But I still think he's gonna be one of the best in the entire league. So it's good. So all right.
What I will say with this lineup and everything, I don't prefer Zach Moss in the flex. I would love to see, or for me, Jacoby Myers is one of my top 3 best draft picks, in my opinion, being top of the 12th round. And now with the Patriots having Mac Jones under center, it ain't going to be the Cam Newton show all day. So I think Jacoby's value just went through the roof. And there's a chance that he could be a massive amount of points on bench first week. There's a chance. I could be wrong because Zach Moss could really break out. But look, yeah, there's having that on the bench is pretty dang solid too. With the depth.
No, he's pretty much their only option on bench though, because the rest of his team is injured. So
correct.
He's got a pretty limited choice, but yeah, he's got a good lineup. So I think he'll put up some points this week. So let's see. And now the final matchup between the founder, the commissioner, the baldest one in the room, the one and only bald and deckless JeffsBalding versus our very own leader of Cola, mediocre gamer, streamer extraordinaire, Team Ramrod. So we'll go Jeff first, and then Ramrod. So at quarterback, Jeff chose Lamar Jackson versus Ramrod's Jalen Hurts. And then at running back, we have Jeff's Ezekiel Elliott and David Montgomery versus Nick Chubb and Josh Jacobs of Las Vegas. And then Jeff's wide receivers, we got Stephon Diggs, Deontay, and it looks like Robbie Anderson versus Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, and Marquez Callaway. And then we have some interesting tight end matchups. We got a Darren Waller for Jeff versus a Travis Kelce. And I am going to mention one kicker, the man, the myth, the legend, Matt Prater for Ramrod. So this is interesting. It's this matchup, Lamar Jackson, if he is anything like his crazy season, which wasn't this last year, but the year before. If he gets anywhere near that, I mean, having him on your team is going to put you in a winning position every single time. Now, Jalen Hurts with that Philadelphia team, that's interesting. I don't know how good Philly's going to be. So it's one of those. I have a prediction Philly's not going to be that good this year. I think Baltimore will be good, even though their running back situation may hurt Lamar Jackson because it's always been a joke that he's not a quarterback, he's a running back. He may actually be Baltimore's running back this year. So it's one of those, does that actually help him though? Because his stat lines could go through the roof because he doesn't have the running back core, and they're going to have to rely on him to run and throw. So we'll see. I do think that Ramrod has the edge in running back. So I am an Ezekiel Elliott hater across the board ever since he was with Ohio State. So I never pick Ezekiel Elliott. I stay away from him. I don't like him as a running back. I do like Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is going to be ridiculous this year, and I think Las Vegas is going to turn heads with Josh Jacobs. I think he's going to be good. Now, he is sharing a backfield now. What is this? Is it Kenyon Drake that's there with the Raiders now? So I believe he's sharing. So Josh Jacobs may not put the numbers up that he's had before, but we'll see. Jeff does have the major edge in wide receivers. These wide receivers, Stephon Diggs should be an absolute stud this year. So, and to be honest with you, a lot of the wide receivers that Ramrod has, not really sure. Not really sure. So I think Jeff holds the edge there. So Jeff's edge in quarterbacks and wide receivers so far. Ramrod's edge with running backs, tight ends. That's even. Las Vegas, Darren Waller, stud last year. Travis Kelce has been a stud for the last several seasons. That's an even matchup. But when it comes down to it, the edge in kicker, Matt Prater. No, I'm just kidding. Jeff's kicker out of Atlanta is a stud coup. That kid put up numbers. Jeff, I hate to do it. I'm picking Jeff. I'm picking Jeff to win this game against the Ramrod. Sorry, Ramrod.
Now, I know we said we wouldn't do this, but after the Thursday game, does that change?
Yeah.
Would that change?
It would, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I would give Ramrod the lead just because of the Ezekiel Elliott points. But I picked Jeff originally. I'm sticking with Jeff, even though Ezekiel Elliott kind of ruined it for me. But you never know. Lamar Jackson should put up like a 50 burger and Stephon Diggs. So, like I said, we're being true to this, even though we know a little bit more. So I've got Jeff. So
now, do you mind if I play a little game with you, bro? Mind if I play a game with you? And you guys can join in too. Okay. This is a who am I game. Okay. I am the 20th overall wide receiver from last year. Is that enough for you to give me a
20th overall wide receiver from last year?
I can keep going. I'll just keep going with questions until you know.
I think I know who it is.
Okay.
Is it Thielen?
No. So we're going to keep going. Okay. I was one of 3 wide receivers on my team with over 100 passing attempts last year. Or 100 targets, I'm sorry, with 100 targets.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm sorry. I said that wrong. Yeah.
Over 100 targets. I don't know.
Okay. Here's the third one. I missed 1 game last year, and I was also benched for a half of a game due to performance.
Deontay Johnson.
You are correct. My fourth one was I also led the league in drops. I am Deontay Johnson.
Yep.
That was, he got 140 plus targets last year.
Okay.
Is that insane when you think of all the rest of that? So, Deontay Johnson, man, he's my boy this year. He's my boy.
That's your guy. Do you got any more fun facts or players that we're trying to guess, or is it?
That's mine for this week. I'm gonna try to do one each week. How's that sound? Okay, gotcha. How's that sound? So, all right, that'll be fun. I'm surprised that you find Darren Waller and Travis Kelce on the same level there, because I think Travis Kelce is a clear, I view Kelce higher, far higher.
I view him higher, but I also am looking at the team. So when I look at, I think Darren Waller, if Vegas does what they've done before, he is a much higher targeted receiver in the red zone. than Travis Kelce. Granted, it's not by much. Travis Kelce will get them. And the way that team's set up, too, Kelce's probably going to get a lot more this year. I'm banking on Kansas City running the ball more in those positions than throwing and using that to their advantage, or doing
That's
little
the
short stuff. I just
says the guy with Clyde Edwards-Helaire on his roster.
Well, that's part of the reason why I took him. But I just have this feeling that this team, they're not going to go too far away, but they need to be a little more two-dimensional than what they were last year. So I think they're going to really, really hammer down the run game this year, because if they try to get into a shootout again and it's just running only, they're going to get leveled again from a team like Tampa Bay. So I think that's going to be where, because they know that they're a Super Bowl contender. They just have to shore up some of the other stuff. So not saying I don't think Travis Kelce's good. I just think touchdowns, Darren Waller will have more touchdowns this season than Travis Kelce.
Now, when I look at Ramrod's team, I see Kelce as like his floor, or not his floor, like his one that you can depend on a high floor. 9-inch Nick Chubb. He's also a good floor player where you just expect points. I know you mentioned that his wide receiver core was the weakest, or pretty darn weak. But I tell you what, the ceiling on those wide receivers are very high. Like Scary Terry McLaurin could be like a number one overall. Like there is a chance, because you have Fitzpatrick, who just feeds his number one wideout targets. Deebo Samuel, maybe not high floor, but then again, he wasn't there last year really for a large piece of it. So there's a chance. Marquez Callaway, I mean, that's kind of like a name that we haven't really heard before. But who does New Orleans have? Who does New Orleans even have? So it's
without a Michael Thomas playing, it opens the door. But it's also, too, what are we going to get in New Orleans? Because is Jameis Winston the clear cut and he's going to go? Is it going to be a 50-50 with, I'm blanking on his name now.
Hill? Is it Hill that you're thinking of?
Taysom Hill. What are you getting from New Orleans? Because we always knew what it was before. We knew what it was with Drew Brees. I don't have a really, really high expectation for New Orleans whatsoever. I'm sorry, Lomax, but I don't think it's going to be good. But we'll see. If Michael Thomas comes back, I think Marquez Callaway is going to get a lot more looks, just because he's going to draw so much attention. But it doesn't look like Michael Thomas is playing this year. So.
Oh, okay.
Or honestly, it could come down to Matt, the leg, the man, the myth, the legend, Prater. And that's what it could be. That could win Ramrod a championship. Is just Prater just sending bombs out in Arizona. He's out there on that West Coast. If he gets back out there into Denver and he's just chunking in 70-yarders just for shits and giggles, I could see it. But,
I gotta say, like, watching that Cowboys game, seeing Zerline just about 2 yards shy of the 60-yarder on that, like, impressive, but Matt Prater would have won. He would have gotten that. Phil's Matt Prater, he would have gotten that. Ain't
Matt
no
Prater
thing.
would have gotten in and hit an extra 20 yards.
Right.
So, the man is a beast. And he's a hell of a quarterback, too. I don't know if you remember that touchdown from a few seasons ago in Detroit.
Oh, I missed that. Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah, Prater's got a touchdown in the kicker category. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting. But those are our picks.
Yeah.
So obviously this week is a little strange just because we already had the Thursday night game, so we didn't beat that or beat this the picks into it. So this following week, though, it'll be better. It'll be better.
Much better.
Yeah. So, got anything else?
I should mention. Yeah, I should mention for all you guys watching what I would love to add to this show that we got going would be shit talk. We need shit talk. So if you have a good segment for shit talk, you let us know. You DM us, because we are more than happy to start reading off some shit talk during this segment. And I am more than pumped. If you have a funny idea that you want to, make happen in regards to it, I know Dingo's got some funny ideas. I've got some funny ideas. So I mean, we will have crap talk being highlighted in the future.
Yes, and
get excited.
If a lot of you guys are streamers as well. If you've got a webcam, send us a little feed, just a short little clips that we can add in here as well. Whatever you'd like to do, if you've got a skit, whatever, to add to it, we'd love to add it in here and just get you guys hating on each other a lot. That's what we're all about, is just promoting hate in this group. So bring on the shit talk. I guess to start off, do you have anything specific you want to say to Ramrod?
Ramrod, you suck.
Yep. We're going in hot with the shit talk this week.
You're going down. You're going down.
You're going down. Yeah.
Going timber.
Oh, goodness. And Scoobs, I think I'm going to keep you right there with your Seattle Kraken at 0 wins in your lifetime. So that's where we're going to be at. 0 wins after week 1. We're going to keep you at least on par with your Kraken that you just got. So, yeah. So awesome. And then any other segments you want to talk about, Jeff?
I guess since we are in the spirit of shit talk, that Sony Michelle pick, that's a shit pick, bro. Your Sony Michelle pick is a shit pick, bro. Darrell Henderson is going to wreck him this year in points. He's going to double him in points. Baldy bold pit. Baldy being bold. Darrell Henderson doubles Sony Michelle's points this year. The shit is thrown.
I don't know.
The shit is thrown.
See how that phenomenal quarterback that the Rams have, that Matthew Stafford, and in all of his years that you watched him with Detroit, and what was the thing that he did the best? He passed to wide receivers. They were always their best when they were throwing to wide receivers. And Darrell Henderson, you know what he is? He's a Butterfingers. He's not catching that ball. Sony Michel will catch that ball because he's used to it in New England. That's exactly what they brought him in for, was for a guy like Matt Stafford to just dunk it off after or dink it out over to him. That's what I'm banking on. Sony Michel, he's not going to double Darrell Henderson's points. He's probably going to triple them. That's what it's going to be.
Oh, no way.
Not even close. Sony Michel, running back 1, Los Angeles Rams.
So, you brought up a good stat here that Matthew Stafford's great at throwing to wide receivers. But here's also a stat. Sony Michel's a running back. He's a running back.
I said it wrong. So, my bad. Okay. He's a running back, so he's awesome throwing to running backs. So
named DeAndre Swift. He's also good at throwing to wide receivers named Calvin Johnson. So Sony Michel, neither. That's what I'm saying. Sony Michel's a backup. That's what Sony Michel is. Not only a backup in New England, but a backup in the Rams. That's what I see. That's what I see.
Well, we're going to have to just wait and see. But I think you're going to be eating your words. I think Sony Michel, big points this year with the Rams.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, and I guess before we go, Ezekiel Elliott on the trade block. For any takers, Ezekiel Elliott on the trade block. So just
one game in and you're already Oh my lord. But yeah, and I don't think we've had any. Well, we had a trade, but that was strictly because the bold strategy of taking 2 kickers 2 rounds in a row early on in the draft. So we made up for it with the trade, but that's about it. There's been some transactions, so it's good seeing people getting on the waiver wires and doing their thing. So it'll be very, very interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out. Looking forward to it. If you guys want to talk shit and stuff, get on the Discord, go to the fantasy football thread, and just talk some bad shit.
Word.
All right.
Cool. Thank you all for watching.
Yep.
I'm JeffsBalding, proud member of the A Squad.
And I'm Jeff's better brother. We'll see ya.